Yo, what is good, everybody? It's your boy, the Strongest Wizard, and tonight is indeed fight night, and we have another OPOA match. Now, this match I am very excited for. This is grand finals here at DXN Outpost, and it is the store regional. So this is for all the marbles here, which essentially is that very nice Vivi. And we have Baller on the left-hand side, rocking out that Bonnie, as well as Jansuko on the right with, yes, Marco. Now, probably the biggest thing that you're probably surprised by is, one, not only the Marco, but a finals without black in it. In this meta, that's absolutely insane. Shout out to both of these players making it to the finals. And now we're going to see a 6k swing with Marco going into life. We're going to go ahead and give the 2k counter. And now we're going to use leader ability here. We're going to give something minus 2k and then check the top card of our deck and then put it to the top or the bottom. Quick shout out to today's sponsor, which is DXN Outpost, DXN Provisions, the only place to get all my sealed product. And huge shout out to them for hosting this store regional. And if you're interested in some One Piece product, check out the link below. Now, we saw the 3-cost trophy coming into play, which is obviously a really good card to kind of relieve some of this pressure that Baller is able to apply. With the 6k swing does get countered out of it, and now we see the Eroge coming down. 4-cost blocker, setting up one of our Dawn as active. Fantastic turn. Now, obviously, 6k swing going into life is going to go ahead and actually rest this Dofi off of that leader ability. And now we are actually going to take our own life, playing out the 5-6 ace, checking the top, which is the Atmos, and then revealing 2 Whitebeard Pirates cards, and then bouncing a 4-cost character. A really good move here, just to kind of change the pace of the game, on top of the fact that we're going to close our turn with that leader ability, getting the top card of our deck, and then putting a card to the bottom or the top. In this case scenario, we're going to go ahead and put it to the bottom. Now, on paper, I think Marco just kind of destroys Bonnie, but we're gonna go ahead and see exactly what happens, playing out the Basil Hawkins and then leaving one Dawn as active and just passing the turn. And if you look at Jansuko's hand, that is a lot of cards in her hand. Shout out to the Rayleigh Dawn. I absolutely love those Dawns. I've used the same 10, so yeah, but trying to figure out exactly what here Marco can do to navigate through this turn. And we're gonna start things off here with the Dragon, playing out the Dragon, 8-cost Dragon. We're going to give 2 of these Rested Dawn to our leader, and then use the leader ability here to make Basil Hawkins a 5k character and putting a card to the bottom. And now we're going to swing at 9k into life, since it does have Rush, resting our leader, and it looks like we're going to go ahead and take it. And now we see a 5k swing going into life, counter out of it, and then we see a 6k swing, which we counter out of it as well, and just pass the turn. Now, I'm sure a lot of you guys are curious, what is this deck build? How come we haven't seen a peel off? Well, not to worry. If you stick around to the end of the video, I have deck lists for both of these decks at the very end. So if you're interested in what Baller's running or what Jansuko's running, just stick around and you'll see what the sauce is, right? So Baller taking a second to figure out what his turn is, and this is quite a menacing board. We're swinging 7k into the Atmos, which of course is a 5k, and we're gonna go ahead and let it go. And now with quite a few Dawn up, we have a couple of different plays, and we're going to start things off with a 3-cost Cavendish. I say 3 since you're able to unrest 2 on play and when attacking. Fantastic card. We see a 5k swing going into life, and this is just a 1k counter, which we end up giving him the Marco. And now we see the Bonnie coming down to actually stun lock Dragon. Really good here. Of course, green doing green things. Very nice. And now we have this ace still ready to go. Now, unfortunately, we have to commit a Dawn to this Marco leader no matter what, just to get that ability going. And we are going to go ahead and bottom, or actually leave the Rayleigh at the very top. I love to see that, because we see a Sanji coming down, playing out the Rayleigh. Now, we're going to go ahead and minus the minus the, that really threw me for a loop here. We're going to minus the Basil Hawkins as well as the Bonnie, removing the Bonnie and not the Cavendish. Really interesting play here from Jansuko. I'm not sure if that was a mistake or not. We're going to see how it all plays out. We're going to counter out of this attack and then just pass the turn. Now, even with that being said, look at the board, right? We have a ton of huge big body characters on the board, as well as that ace, which is still an issue. You know, it's a 6k body, but we're starting things off here with a 5-cost bounty once again to stun lock the dragon. And now with 5 active Dawn, what can we do? I mean, if we swing Cavendish here, we're able to unrest 2, which will have 7 active. That's pretty insane here. And we're actually going to swing a big 8k into the ace, which does go down, unresting 2, which now leads us for another 5 up. And it looks like we're gonna go ahead and possibly swing 6k into life. Yeah, 6k into life. We're gonna give him a Jozu and then pass with the Eroge, leaving 1 active as well. Not too bad of a turn, honestly. We were able to get rid of a threat, apply some pressure, as well as set one of these cards as active. Unfortunately, we're still facing 2 big bodies, right? So pretty insane. And so we are going to go ahead and minus the Cavendish is what it looks like to swing into, which does end up letting it go. And we're going to go ahead and use the leader ability to rest a big character and then playing out the dragon once again, giving 2 Dawn. This is a 9k swing into life, which does connect. And we see another 9k swing, which of course does connect as well. And this is looking terrible for my man Baller. Absolutely horrendous. The board is crazy, man. The board is crazy. 3 life as well. We see a 5k swing going into Marco, and this is an easy 1k counter, which would give him the ace. We see a 6k swing, we give him the Otama, and we have 2 cards left. We see a 7k swing. Now this does connect, dropping down Jonsuko to 2 life, and we are gonna play the 10-cost Dofi to stun 3 9k bodies, 2 dragons, as well as 1 Sanji. And instead of swinging with the Eroge, we're going to go ahead and just pass the turn, leaving 1 Dawn active thanks to that 4-cost character, of course. Now, okay, we have Rayleigh, we have the leader. Do we have a rush card? Is it enough? We're able to rest one of these bodies on the board regardless. Off of that Bonnie ability, this is going to be tough and a decision that's probably going to take some time to think about, because this is it, right? I mean, this is really getting really close here. Do we have a blocker? I mean, what is the position that we can actually do to kind of help us win this game here? I think if we had small low to the ground rush characters like maybe Kid Killer, Zoro, things like that could really help. Now we see the ace, which actually does come into hand. We're gonna go ahead and play that dragon to the bottom, and I do really like that. We're gonna minus 2k off of that Basil Hawkins, and then 3 onto the Hawkins as well as the Bonnie. We're swinging a big 9k into the Basil. We're gonna use leader to rest the ace, and I'm trying to see exactly. I think that's into Basil, I believe. And yes, it's actually into Basil, which does go down. And now we see a 7k swing going into Bonnie, and we're gonna go ahead and just block it here and giving him a 2k as well as a 1k, which I imagine does end up happening. I feel like we could have probably hit the Eroge instead in one of those scenarios with maybe the leader ability, making him a 3k and then minusing 3k to both the Basil as well as the Bonnie if you really wanted to do that. But we're gonna go ahead and see tapping 1 down here. We're gonna replace the ace, which is kind of crazy, with an Izo actually. Now the Izo is gonna grab us a 4-cost Marco, and now we have no Dawn active. We have 2 life and I believe a couple cards in hand, and we have 3 cards in hand. And is this going to be it? Baller is looking like to commit to go for game here, attaching 2 Dawn into the Eroge, playing around pistol or something like that. We're going to go ahead and counter the first swing. 7k swing does connect, and now we have 2 huge bodies. 9k swing into life does connect, and we see the huge 13k into life, and Baller does actually end up winning, and this is his deck list. Pause it. Do whatever you want with it. This is what it is. Seeing the carrot's kind of crazy. A lot of people having cutting at that card, as well as 8-cost Kid. You love to see it. Always been a big fan of 8-cost Kid, and this is Jonsuko's list here. Quality a little less as good, but regardless, you guys can see exactly what it is here. Nothing too out of the ordinary other than maybe Izo's, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you guys so much for checking this channel, this video. I really do appreciate it, and stay tuned because I have a ton of new OPOA content coming out soon. See ya.